Have you ever looked at your plants with a sigh? Perhaps their leaves are a bit yellow, maybe they just don't seem to grow with much spirit. You water them carefully, you might even give them a feed now and then. Yet something isn't quite right. It can be truly disheartening for any gardener. We all want to see our plants looking their best. We want them full of life and color. This common problem often has a hidden cause. It might be something you cannot easily see. Sometimes the issue lies deep within the soil. It's not always about pests or diseases, it's not always about the amount of sunshine or water. There is an invisible factor at play. This factor is called soil pH. Understanding this simple thing can make a world of difference. It can change how your garden grows. It could be the key you've been searching for. Think of soil pH as a secret code. A code that unlocks your garden's true potential. When the pH is right for your plants, they flourish. They can take up all the good things from the soil. Their roots can work efficiently. They become strong and healthy. So let's explore this together. We will unravel the mystery of soil pH. Your plants will thank you for it, I promise. So, what exactly is this soil pH we speak of? Put simply, pH is a measure. It tells us how acidic or alkaline something is. Imagine a scale, a bit like a ruler. This scale runs from 0 all the way up to 14. It's a special scale just for measuring acidity. Right in the middle, at number 7, is neutral. Pure water is neutral with a pH of 7. This is our starting point for understanding. It's a balance between acidic and alkaline. Now anything below 7 on this scale is acidic. The lower the number, the more acidic it is. Think of lemon juice or vinegar. They are quite acidic with a low pH. On the other side, anything above 7 is alkaline. The higher the number, the more alkaline it becomes. Bicarbonate of soda is mildly alkaline. Soapy water is also alkaline. It's important to know this too. The pH scale is logarithmic. That means each whole number change is a tenfold difference. So, precision matters. Your soil is like a pantry for your plants. It's full of all sorts of good things. These are the nutrients plants need to grow strong and healthy. We often talk about the main ones. There's nitrogen for leafy growth. Phosphorus helps with roots and flowers. Potassium is good for overall plant health and fruiting. But there are many other minor nutrients too. Now here's where soil pH plays its crucial role. Soil pH acts like a gatekeeper. It controls which nutrients are available for plants to absorb. Even if a nutrient is plentiful in the soil, it might be locked up. If the pH isn't right, plants can't get to it. Their roots simply cannot take it in effectively. For instance, if your soil is too acidic, nutrients like calcium and magnesium become less available. Conversely, if your soil is too alkaline, iron and manganese might become scarce for plants. This directly impacts your plant's health. A plant might show signs of a nutrient deficiency. You might see yellowing leaves known as chlorosis. That's why understanding and adjusting soil pH is so fundamental. It ensures your plants can enjoy the feast you provide. Just like people have different tastes in food, plants have different preferences for soil pH. This is because plants have evolved over thousands of years. They have adapted to grow in specific natural environments. Some grew on heathlands with acidic soils. Others developed on chalky downs where soils are alkaline. We often talk about acid-loving plants. These are also known as ericaceous plants. Think of beautiful rhododendrons, azaleas, and camellias. Blueberries also fall into this group. These plants absolutely thrive in acidic conditions. They typically prefer a soil pH between 4.5 and 5.5. Then there are plants that prefer alkaline soils. These are sometimes called lime-loving plants or calcicles. Good examples include lilacs, clematis, and dianthus, also known as pinks. These plants are happiest when the soil pH is above 7. However, many common garden plants are quite adaptable. They generally prefer a soil pH that is slightly acidic to neutral. A range of about 6.0 to 7.0 is often ideal for a wide variety of plants. It's a good target for a mixed garden. Section 5. Common garden favorites and their ideal pH homes. Let's talk about some popular plants. Take vegetables, for instance. Potatoes are a classic example. They actually prefer slightly acidic soil. A pH between 5.0 and 6.0 is good for them. This acidity helps to prevent a common disease called potato scab. If your soil is too alkaline, scab can be a real problem. Tomatoes, another garden staple, also like it slightly acidic. They do best around pH 6.0 to 6.8. Knowing this helps you prepare your vegetable beds properly. Roses are adored by so many gardeners. Most roses prefer a soil that is slightly acidic. A pH of around 6.5 is often considered ideal. If the soil is too alkaline, roses can suffer from iron deficiency. Getting the pH right helps them absorb all the nutrients they need. What about your lawn? A lush green lawn is the pride of many a garden. Most lawn grasses also prefer slightly acidic conditions. A pH between 6.0 and 7.0 is generally best. If the soil pH is too high or too low, your grass can struggle. Correcting the pH can make your lawn much healthier. And let's not forget fruit trees. Many fruit trees like apples and pears do well in slightly acidic to neutral soil. Section 6. Becoming a soil detective. Simple ways to test your pH at home. Before you even think about changing your soil pH, you must test it. Guessing is not a good idea in gardening. You might make things worse, not better. Testing your soil pH is like a doctor taking your temperature. It gives you vital information. It tells you what you are working with. Fortunately, there are some simple ways to do this at home. You don't need a fancy laboratory. You can become a soil detective yourself. The most common way is to use a DIY soil pH test kit. You can buy these from garden centers or online. Some kits use a small probe that you stick into moist soil. It gives you a reading on a little meter. Other kits involve taking a soil sample, you mix it with water and a chemical powder or solution, the water then changes color. You compare this color to a chart provided with the kit. This tells you the pH level. There's also a very basic old-fashioned method. You can use vinegar and baking soda. This won't give you an exact pH number, but it can give you a rough idea if your soil is acidic or alkaline. It's a simple indicator but not a precise measurement. Section 7. Decoding your results. What your pH test is telling you. Once you have your test results, it's time to understand them. If you used a color-coded kit, match the color carefully. If you used a probe, note down the number. This result is your starting point. It tells you the current state of your soil's acidity or alkalinity. So what if your pH reading is low? Say below 6.0. This means your soil is acidic. For acid-loving plants like rhododendrons, this is good news. But for many other plants, it might be too acidic. In very acidic soil, as we've learned, some nutrients become less available. Now what if your pH reading is high? Perhaps it's above 7.5. This indicates your soil is alkaline. This is great if you want to grow lilacs or clematis. But for many other plants, it can cause problems. In highly alkaline soils, iron, manganese, and zinc can become locked up. This often leads to iron chlorosis. You'll see this as yellowing leaves, especially on new growth, while the veins remain green. Remember, the ideal pH depends on what you want to grow. However, most plants thrive in a range of pH 6.0 to 7.0. Your test result is a clue. It helps you work with your soil. Section 8. Raising the bar. How to increase your soil's pH, making it alkaline. If your soil test shows that your soil is too acidic for your plants, you'll need to raise the pH. This means making it more alkaline or sweeter, as old gardeners say. The most common way to do this is by adding lime. Garden lime is usually ground limestone, which is calcium carbonate. There's also dolomitic lime, which contains both calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. This is useful if your soil is also low in magnesium. How does lime work? Well, it neutralizes the acidity in the soil. It's a chemical reaction, but a gentle one. It's important to apply lime carefully. Don't just chuck it on. Follow the instructions on the bag, or get advice based on your specific pH reading and soil type. It's best to apply it in autumn or winter. This gives the lime time to work into the soil before spring planting. Spread it evenly and lightly, dig it into the top few inches. Another material that can raise soil pH is wood ash. If you have a wood-burning stove or bonfire, you can use the ash. Wood ash is quite alkaline. It also contains some potassium, which is good for plants. However, you must use it with caution. Apply it sparingly. Too much can make the soil excessively alkaline very quickly. Section 9. Lowering the level. How to decrease your soil's pH, making it acidic. What if your soil is too alkaline? You'll need to lower the pH to make it more acidic. This is often necessary if you want to grow those lovely acid-loving plants, or if your general garden plants are showing signs of nutrient deficiencies due to a high pH. One common material used to lower soil pH is elemental sulfur. This is often sold as a yellow powder or pellets. You can find it in garden centers. It's a slow but effective method. When you add elemental sulfur to the soil, it doesn't work instantly. Soil bacteria get to work on it. They convert the sulfur into sulfuric acid. This acid then gradually lowers the soil's pH. This process takes time, often several months or even longer. So, it's best to apply sulfur well in advance of planting. Spread it evenly and incorporate it into the soil. The amount you need will depend on your current pH and your target pH. Always follow the product recommendations. Organic matter can also help to lower soil pH gradually. Things like sphagnum peat moss are naturally acidic. Section 10. The Gardener's Golden Rule Test, Tweak and Thrive. So, there you have it. Soil pH might seem like a small detail, but it's a fundamental part of good gardening. It's one of the most important factors affecting your plant's health. Understanding your soil's pH is like having a conversation with your garden. It tells you what it needs, and it empowers you to provide the very best conditions. This knowledge can transform your gardening experience. It can turn frustration into flourishing success. I really encourage you to make soil testing a regular part of your gardening routine. Test your soil perhaps once a year, or test it when you're starting a new garden bed. Definitely test it if your plants are looking unhappy and you can't figure out why. It doesn't take long, and the information you gain is invaluable. It will save you time, effort, and money in the long run. You won't be guessing about fertilizers or plant problems anymore. You'll know. Armed with this knowledge about soil pH, you are now ready. You can create the perfect underground environment for your plants. So go on. Happy gardening to you all.